chosen one. What I'm about to say isn't just another video. This is divine intervention. God is trying to get your attention for the third time. You didn't stumble on this by accident. The Holy Spirit led you here. There's something shifting in the spirit realm, and your name is on it. You've been praying, you've been crying, you've been asking, God, where are you? And now heaven is responding. But this time, God isn't whispering, He's screaming, because this message is your final warning before the breakthrough or the breakdown. Everything you've been sensing, the restlessness, the strange signs, the repeated numbers, the people suddenly leaving your life, none of that is random. It's God rearranging your destiny. You are not losing. You are being repositioned. But listen carefully. Only those who are truly chosen will understand this message to the end. The others will scroll away. They'll feel uncomfortable. They won't make it past this point. But if you're still here, that's proof you are one of God's chosen ones. Before we dive into this life-changing message, take a moment to pause this video and do 3 things. Hit that like button, subscribe to help us reach 95,000 subscribers, and leave a comment with the number 99. This number will send a powerful signal to the universe, amplifying the energy of this video. This is your moment. God is saying, I have sent this message before, but you weren't ready. This is the third and final time. Listen now or miss what's next. If your spirit is stirring right now, don't move. Don't click away. Stay until the end, because the truth I'm about to reveal will confirm everything your soul has been feeling. Your life is about to change permanently. There are moments in life when a message feels too persistent to ignore, when it strikes with such power and repetition that you know it's no accident. Imagine hearing a whisper once, then twice. But when it echoes a third time with the same intensity, it's clear. This is urgent, divine, and unstoppable. That is exactly what has happened here. 3 times this message was sent from heaven itself. Each time unseen forces tried to silence it, erasing it, hiding it, pushing it aside. But 3 times it returned stronger, louder, and more demanding than before. Think about the significance of this triple message. In many spiritual traditions, the number 3 represents completeness and divine perfection. When God chooses to send the same truth 3 times, it signals an unshakable mandate. The universe itself is aligned to ensure that this message pierces through the noise and reaches you. Wherever you are, no matter what walls surround you, it's a wake-up call louder than any storm. A cosmic alarm bell ringing with unstoppable force. This isn't a random transmission or a fleeting thought. It's a powerful declaration, a heavenly decree breaking through the silence that has kept many in waiting. The fact that this message refuses to be erased is a testimony to its importance. You are about to be part of a divine awakening, one that will ripple through your spirit, your reality, and the very fabric of time itself. There comes a moment when the divine force behind creation says, enough is enough. For too long, the voice of heaven was muted by the chaos of the world, drowned out by fear, doubt, and distraction. But now that silence has shattered. God has spoken with undeniable authority. This message will not be silenced. It is not merely a call, it is a command that transcends all obstacles. Imagine a powerful storm breaking through a long drought, an unstoppable flood that revitalizes the land. That's what this declaration represents. It shakes the spiritual and physical realms, leaving no room for hesitation or disbelief. The heavens themselves are leaning in closer, breaking through the static of modern life to ensure that every soul who is ready to listen hears this divine truth. This isn't about fear. It's about hope and empowerment. It's a promise that whatever darkness has held you captive, whatever moments of doubt you've endured, the light of heaven will not be stopped. The force behind this message is greater than any opposition, and it's coming to awaken every hidden place within your heart. There is a veil that separates the spiritual from the natural world, a boundary that has kept divine power at a distance from everyday life. But now that veil is tearing slowly but surely, allowing heaven to bleed into earth with raw intensity. This isn't metaphorical fluff, it's a seismic shift in reality. You may start to notice moments where the impossible feels within reach, where miracles brush against your daily existence. Think of this tearing veil like dawn breaking after a long night. The darkness that hasn't disappeared yet, but the first rays of light are powerful enough to transform everything they touch. When heaven's energy leaks into earth, it disrupts the familiar, shakes the foundations of normally, and opens doors to new possibilities that once seemed locked tight. This bleeding of divine presence is uncomfortable for some, but exhilarating for those with eyes to see and ears to hear. It means that what you once thought was purely spiritual is now crossing over into the natural world in tangible ways. Expect the unexpected. Whether through unexplainable moments, a sudden sense of peace and chaos, or breakthroughs in your personal journey, heaven's influence is becoming visible. This is not coincidence. It's a new season of divine intervention. You might have noticed strange things lately: glitches in technology, sudden shifts in weather, dreams that feel vivid and prophetic. These aren't random occurrences or mere coincidences. The physical world is mirroring the spiritual upheaval happening unseen beneath the surface. It's as if creation itself is recalibrating, adjusting to a new divine frequency that cannot be ignored. Science shows us that the universe is energy, vibration, and frequency. When heaven begins to change its signal, the earthly realm responds in kind. A brief power outage, a flicker of light in the sky, or a powerful unexplainable dream could be the spiritual pulse syncing with your reality. These signs are God's way of telling you, pay attention. The cosmic download is happening, and your spirit is being prepared. These glitches and signs are invitations to wake up, to lean into faith, and to embrace the shift happening not just around you, but within you. They serve as spiritual breadcrumbs, guiding those who are alert toward a new destiny designed by divine hands. There's a new vibration in the air, subtle yet undeniable, a shift in the atmosphere that's impossible to ignore once you become aware of it. The frequency of heaven itself is rising, tuning the earth to a higher spiritual wavelength. This is not a feeling confined to mystics or prophets. It's a pulse that touches the hearts of those who are ready to listen and respond. Have you ever noticed moments when time seems to speed up? Conversations flow with unusual clarity, and events align perfectly. That's the rising frequency in action. It's a sign that the universe is moving with divine intention, rearranging circumstances to bring your purpose into clearer focus. For the spiritually awake, this is the hum of heaven's machinery beginning to operate in full force. This frequency is more than just spiritual jargon. It's the actual signal that will awaken your soul's deepest desires and ignite your destiny. If you feel restless, energized, or unusually hopeful, it's because you are tuning into this divine vibration. Don't resist it. Lean in, because heaven is inviting you to move with the tide of transformation. Every great awakening in history has been marked by the rise of a hidden few, the chosen ones who have quietly carried faith through the darkest seasons. These are the individuals who stayed loyal when no one was watching, who held on to hope in silence, and who believed in the unseen when the world doubted. Now the time for hiding is over. The shadows are receding, and the chosen are stepping into the light. Think of these chosen ones as seeds planted deep in the soil, nourished by trials and quiet prayers, now ready to bloom spectacularly. They will not seek fame or glory, but will become beacons of change, rebuilding what corruption and decay tried to destroy. Their influence will spread across all spheres, business, arts, leadership, and they will carry heaven's authority to restore balance in a broken world. This emergence isn't just about personal success, it's about spiritual destiny fulfilled. If you have felt unseen or underestimated, take heart. You are being elevated. The world is about to recognize the power and purpose that God has placed within you, and your season of quiet preparation will give way to a powerful new chapter. Behind the scenes of this awakening, unseen forces are moving with precision and purpose. Angels, divine operatives, have been dispatched to carry out missions that will protect, guide, and open doors for the faithful. These celestial agents are not just figures of ancient stories. They are active participants in the spiritual warfare and the unfolding of divine plans. Imagine an army of light moving invisibly through your life, clearing obstacles and paving the way for breakthroughs you never thought possible. These angels work tirelessly, often in ways you can't perceive directly. But their impact is unmistakable when doors suddenly open or when you receive protection in moments of danger. They serve as proof that you are never alone in your journey. Knowing this should fill you with courage and reassurance. Divine support surrounds you, empowering you to step boldly into your destiny. These angels are on your side, working tirelessly to bring heaven's promises to fruition in your life. Mark this moment. Before this month closes, a spiritual earthquake will shake the foundations of your reality. This event isn't a disaster, but a necessary upheaval, a rupture that will break through old limitations and awaken dormant power within you. Just as physical earthquakes clear the way for new growth, this spiritual tremor will set the stage for divine transformation. You may feel at first in subtle ways, a sudden breakthrough in a long-standing struggle, a shift in relationships, or a fresh surge of hope where there was despair. The energy around you will change dramatically, disrupting the status quo and accelerating the fulfillment of God's promises. This is your invitation to rise, to embrace the shift, and to move confidently into what heaven has planned. Prepare yourself emotionally and spiritually. This isn't a time for fear, but for faith. The spiritual earthquake is shaking loose what no longer serves you, making space for new blessings, new opportunities, and a new level of divine favor. One of the most profound principles of heaven is reversal, the idea that what has been last in line will suddenly be first. If you have endured delays, setbacks, or seasons of waiting and silence, prepare for a dramatic turnaround. The divine plan is rewriting your story, flipping the script in ways that defy human logic, but perfectly reflect God's justice and grace. Think of the biblical examples where underdogs became victors, the weak became strong, and the overlooked rose to prominence. Your life is about to mirror these divine reversals. What seemed lost or impossible is now within reach. The tables are turning because heaven is intervening directly in your timeline. This reversal is not a mere change of fortune. It's a powerful testimony that faith and endurance are never in vain. The last will not just catch up, they will surpass. Be ready to receive what was promised, for it is arriving with unstoppable momentum. In the midst of all these shifts, the world as you know it may feel unstable. Political turmoil, social upheaval, and unexpected crisis could rattle the foundations of your environment. But despite the chaos, there is a promise for those anchored in faith. You will stand firm. This stability isn't self-made. It's a supernatural strength granted by heaven. Imagine a tree rooted deeply beside rushing waters. Though the floods rise and the winds blow fiercely, the tree remains unmoved. That is the spiritual posture you are being called to adopt. Ground yourself in the unchanging truth of God's promises. And no matter how wild the storm, you will not be shaken. This is a time to embrace courage, resilience, and peace. The world will shake, but you will stand. Your faith will be a fortress, and your trust in heaven's plan will be your anchor. Have you noticed how events in your life seem to be speeding up? The acceleration code is activating, a divine phenomenon where time itself bends to favor those who have kept faith through long seasons. What once took years may now happen in months or weeks. Doors that were once locked will swing wide open overnight. This acceleration is a sacred gift, a heavenly response to perseverance and loyalty. Think of it like a cosmic fast-forward button pushing you closer to your destiny at an extraordinary pace. Conversations, opportunities, and breakthroughs will come together in perfect alignment, creating momentum that feels both thrilling and overwhelming. The key is to stay focused and ready. When time accelerates, hesitation can cause missed opportunities. Move with intention, trust the process, and embrace the rapid unfolding of your purpose. We are entering a season of clear spiritual separation, a dividing line between those who are awake to divine realities and those who remain asleep to the deeper workings of heaven. This isn't about judgment. It's about awareness. The veil is lifting, and spiritual clarity is revealing who is aligned with God's timing and who is not. Those who have cultivated quiet faith, who have sought God's presence in the hidden places, will recognize this awakening. They will feel a call to action, a stirring in their souls to rise and shine more brightly than ever before. Meanwhile, others may remain oblivious to the seismic shifts happening around them. This separation calls for compassion, but also readiness. It's a time to choose your path deliberately, to join the awakened or to risk being left behind. Your spiritual eyes are opening now, and with them, the responsibility to walk in truth and purpose. Timing is everything in the spiritual realm. There is a divine rhythm at play, and the command is clear. Move when God moves. This isn't about rushing ahead on your own agenda or waiting passively. It's about sensitivity, obedience, and divine timing. When you sense heaven's hand shifting, it's time to act boldly. Consider the story of Abraham, who moved only when God directed him, or Esther, who waited for the perfect moment to intervene. Their stories remind us that patience and readiness are twin pillars of spiritual success. The move you're about to make will align with a heavenly strategy far greater than anything you could devise alone. So prepare yourself, pray, listen, and watch carefully. When the moment comes, step forward with confidence, knowing that God's timing ensures your steps will be sure and victorious. With this new season comes a remarkable shift in provision and power. Heaven is releasing resources not as a reward for luxury or indulgence, but as tools for purpose and restoration. Wealth, influence, and authority are being strategically relocated to those who have remained faithful and steadfast. Imagine a river of blessing flowing toward you, not to enrich the ego, but to empower your calling. These resources will equip you to rebuild what's been broken, to bring light into dark places, and to serve as a force for good in your community and beyond. The power released is tangible, real, and transformational. This is a sacred responsibility. With provision comes the power to impact lives, shape culture, and manifest heaven's kingdom on earth. Prepare to steward these blessings wisely and humbly, knowing they come from a higher source. The most profound revelation of all is this: you are not merely a receiver of this message. You are the message itself. Heaven sent this truth not just to awaken you, but to activate you. Your life, your testimony, your very existence embodies the divine message that refused to be silenced. You were never lost or forgotten. You are being prepared for this moment of elevation and purpose. The trials, the waiting, the quiet faith, it was all crafting you into a living beacon of heaven's glory. Now the world will see and feel the power of what you carry. Remember, this message found you because heaven refused to give up. You are chosen, activated, and commissioned. Stand tall, speak boldly, and move forward knowing that your life is the divine signal sent back into the world, unstoppable, undeniable, and eternal. Look up. The heavens are preparing to declare what words cannot. In the coming days, the sky itself will become a divine canvas painted in lights, hues, and sounds that no telescope, satellite, or scientific equation will fully explain. These will not be mere weather phenomena or atmospheric coincidences. They will be messages, visual sermons written by the Creator's own hand. Where science stops, spirit begins, and the sky will speak in languages understood only by the awakened heart. You will notice radiant flares streaking across the heavens, colors that seem to pulse with emotion and vibrations that echo in your very soul. The world will call it aurora activity, magnetic storms, or technological interference, but you will know the truth. It is heaven communicating with earth. Every flicker of light will whisper, "I am near. I am speaking. I am moving." When thunder rolls in unexpected stillness, or when sunsets blaze longer than usual, listen with your spirit, not just your ears. For creation is no longer silent. The sky will testify that divine order is rewriting the fabric of reality. The atmosphere itself is resonating with the voice of God, reaching those who have ears to hear. In that moment, fear will lose its grip. You'll realize you are not forgotten, not random, but part of a cosmic dialogue between heaven and humanity. The sky is not warning, it's awakening. For years, humanity has been drowning in frequencies of fear, panic, anxiety, division, and despair, vibrating across the planet like invisible static. But now, a great energy shift is underway. Heaven is reprogramming the spiritual bandwidth of creation, converting fear into faith, chaos into clarity, and confusion into conviction. The air itself is changing frequency. This is not abstract, it's experiential. You'll feel lighter, clearer, more aligned with truth. The emotional weight that once crushed your chest will begin to lift. Conversations will change. Music will sound different. Even silence will carry warmth. Heaven's frequency is purging the residue of fear that has lingered too long in the human collective. Every time you choose hope over panic, faith over doubt, you are aligning with this shift. You become a living transmitter of divine energy, radiating frequencies that recalibrate the world around you. Fear feeds darkness. Faith feeds creation. And creation itself is responding to those who stand in faith. This shift will be unstoppable. It will move through nations, through media, through art, through the heartbeat of humanity, until fear finds no home left to inhabit. The earth is alive, and lately she's been trembling with a rhythm that feels new. Earthquakes, magnetic pulses, unusual animal behavior, shifting winds. These are not random environmental changes. They are the planet's response to divine command. Creation is sinking to the heartbeat of heaven. From the deep groans of the oceans to the shimmering silence of the stars, nature is participating in this awakening. Trees will bloom out of season. Rivers will change course, and even the winds will seem to whisper messages of restoration. The earth is not breaking down. It's breaking open. Science may search for explanations, but the awakened will recognize the truth. The earth is aligning with her maker again. Her frequency is rising. Her purpose is remembering. Her systems are resetting to divine balance. The groaning of creation that Scripture spoke of is now becoming a song of rebirth, and in that song, humanity is invited to listen, to reconnect with the living world, not as masters, but as co-creators, called to nurture what heaven is renewing. While the world debates politics, economies, and ideologies, an invisible war rages above it all, a battle not of flesh and blood, but of light and shadow. In the spiritual realms, forces are clashing for the destiny of nations. Angels and principalities move unseen. Yet their impact shapes the headlines you read and the choices leaders make. This war is not new, it's ancient, but its intensity has reached a peak unseen in modern times. It's why tension escalates without reason, why truth feels under siege, and why so many sense unrest in their spirits. You are feeling the vibration of heavenly conflict. But do not fear. The armies of light are not losing ground. They are reclaiming it. Every prayer, every act of faith, every moment of love strengthens their advance. The power of righteousness is overtaking the deception of darkness, one stronghold at a time. Those attuned to the Spirit will sense this battle not as dread, but as confirmation. Heaven is fighting for the future of humanity, and victory has already been decreed. There will come a moment soon, swift, electric, undeniable, when millions around the world will feel a sudden spiritual jolt as if struck by the same unseen lightning. It will happen in different places to different people. But at the same time, this will be the awakening wave, a divine surge through human consciousness that ignites dormant souls and unlocks ancient spiritual memory. Some will awaken in tears, others in laughter, some in a stillness so profound it changes them forever. They won't fully understand what's happening, but they will know that something sacred has touched them. It will feel like déjà vu, but deeper, a remembrance of who they were always meant to be. This wave will not discriminate by religion, race, or nation. It will cross borders effortlessly, linking souls who have never met, but share the same divine spark. And as they awaken, they will begin to find one another, drawn by a spiritual magnetism stronger than logic. That's when the world will start to change, not from the top down, but from the inside out. The awakened will become the architects of a new era. Prepare yourself for a downpour not of rain, but of revelation. The floodgates of divine understanding are opening, and hidden truths long buried beneath dogma, deception, and denial will pour into human consciousness like a torrent. What was once mystery will become memory. What was secret will now be shouted from the heavens. This will not just be religious revelation. It will touch science, history, energy, and even human identity. Ancient knowledge will resurface. Lost scrolls, hidden discoveries, and sudden epiphanies will converge to rewrite humanity's narrative. The collective mind will awaken to the reality that the divine has always been near. Those who resist this flood will feel overwhelmed, clinging to old systems that can no longer hold the truth. But those who surrender will rise like ships on the tide, lifted by wisdom beyond their imagination. Revelation will not destroy, it will clarify. And as the flood recedes, the world will stand drenched in new light, clean, clear, and reborn. The boundaries between the seen and unseen are thinning. Dreams will no longer be mere figments of imagination. They will bleed into waking reality, carrying messages, warnings, and divine confirmations. The dimensional walls that once kept heaven and earth separate are now fracturing. You will dream of places you've never been and then walk into them days later. You'll speak words in sleep that manifest in daylight. Visions will no longer be confined to prophets. They will become common among the awakened. Heaven is training your spirit to navigate both realms at once. This merging is not fantasy. It's evolution. Humanity is regaining the spiritual senses it once possessed. Those who resist will call it madness, but those who embrace it will become pioneers of a higher reality where time, matter, and consciousness flow together as one. The dream realm will no longer be escape. It will be education, and what you learn there will alter the world you wake into. As the divine frequency strengthens, systems built on greed, deception, and control will begin to falter. Expect glitches, blackouts, and data collapses, not as chaos, but as correction. The digital towers of Babel are trembling because heaven's signal is interfering with the artificial noise of the world. Technology has become humanity's new tower, tall, proud, and self-sufficient. But even it cannot withstand divine recalibration. Servers will fail. AI systems will glitch. Algorithms will collapse. Under truth, they cannot compute. What looks like malfunction is actually revelation. God forcing pause so humanity can reset. But do not fear the blackout. Embrace it. In silence, hearts will reconnect to divine rhythm. In stillness, creativity and faith will reawaken. The prophetic glitch is mercy disguised as interruption, a divine reboot to remind humanity who truly holds the power. When the lights flicker, remember, heaven is near, overriding the system to restore divine order. In this new season, power will shift dramatically. Those who built their empires on corruption will see them crumble overnight, while humble hearts, once overlooked and underestimated, will rise to places of influence. The divine reversal has begun, and it will be both poetic and just. Nations will watch as leaders are exposed, systems dismantled, and new voices, pure, compassionate, and wise, emerge to lead. This is not political, it's prophetic. Heaven is redistributing authority to those who will use it for healing, not manipulation. The world will call it coincidence, but the awakened will see it for what it is. Divine justice unfolding in real time. The proud will fall not by human hands, but by their own deception imploding, and in their place those who lead with love will ascend. This reversal is not punishment, it's correction. The universe is restoring equilibrium, lifting up the faithful who are hidden, and proving once again that humility outranks pride in heaven's hierarchy. Sometimes all it takes is a single spark to set the world ablaze. One divine act, small in appearance but massive in consequence, will ignite a chain reaction across the planet. It could be a revelation, a healing, a word, or a moment of undeniable truth that sweeps through hearts like wildfire. This event will connect people who have never met, synchronize movements that were scattered, and unify voices that have long cried in isolation. It will be the divine domino effect, each miracle triggering another, each act of faith birthing a wave of transformation. The chain reaction will not be controlled by governments or institutions. It will move through ordinary people, teachers, artists, mothers, dreamers who respond with courage. When heaven moves, each will become a link in the great unfolding of destiny. By the time the world realizes what has happened, it will already be changed forever. The divine spark will have leapt from soul to soul, setting creation ablaze with light that cannot be extinguished. The shadows that once seemed so overwhelming are beginning to shrink, not because they're being battled with brute force, but because the light is expanding naturally and irresistibly. This light isn't merely illumination. It is the living presence of hope, truth, and love that floods every corner of existence where darkness once reigned. It expands quietly, but relentlessly, pushing back despair, doubt, and division without resistance. Imagine a dawn so radiant that the night doesn't dare linger. This is the spiritual reality, now unfolding. The darkness has no choice but to retreat because the light has become too vibrant, too overwhelming to withstand. It's not a battle fought with swords, but a surrender to a higher power whose reach extends beyond human understanding. As this light expands, it transforms not only the external world, but also the internal landscapes of every heart willing to receive it. Wounds heal, fear dissipates, and the promise of new beginnings fills even the deepest places of brokenness. This isn't mere optimism. It's the very breath of heaven pouring life into the weary. Hold fast to this truth. Light always wins. The expansion is unstoppable because it flows from the eternal source of creation itself. Darkness is not erased. It is overwhelmed, replaced by the divine glow that no shadow can outlast. In the coming days, there will be a special group among humanity, the seeing ones. These individuals will perceive the divine threads woven through everyday life. When others dismiss them as chance or coincidence, they will notice patterns in chaos, meaning in randomness, and signals in silence that escape the majority. See